What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to What's Going On in Long Island. Today, we're breaking down the Long Island real estate market for April of 2026. What's happening with prices, inventory, mortgage rates, days on market, buyer demand, and what all of this means if you're thinking about buying or selling on Long Island. And honestly, the biggest headline right now is this. The market is still strong, but buyers are still becoming more selective. We are not seeing some major market crash on Long Island. Inventory is still historically low. Prices are still rising overall, and well-priced homes are still moving quickly. But this market has definitely become a lot more strategic than it was a couple of years ago. So let's get into the numbers. Right now, Nassau County median single home prices are sitting around 849K. That's roughly 4% higher than we were this time last year. Suffolk is hovering around 700K for the median sale price, which is actually up about 7% year over year. So when you combine Nassau and Suffolk overall, Long Island's median home price is now around the high 730K range, depending on the report that you're looking at. So despite affordability concerns and higher rates, prices are still climbing because there's just simply no inventory. That continues to be the story. That continues to be the biggest issue in this market. Right now, Long Island inventory is sitting around just over 4,000 homes available, depending on the week and data source. For perspective, historically, Long Island would normally have way more homes available than that. So even though buyers are more cautious now, there are still not enough homes hitting the market to create major downward pressure on prices. Now, also about sales activity. There were about 1,425 closed home sales on Long Island last month, around 630 in Nassau, 790 in Suffolk. That's actually slightly lower than last year's pace overall, which tells us that the market has cooled a bit from the frenzy years, but it's still pretty active. And here's where things get very interesting. Average days on market across Long Island are still very low overall. Homes are averaging around 27 days on the market. Nassau County is even faster at roughly 25 days, while Suffolk is sitting at around 29. That number can be very misleading depending on a pricing strategy, because the reality right now is this. If a house is updated, marketed properly, and priced realistically, it can still go under contract in a week or two with multiple offers, especially in areas near train lines, downtowns, or highly competitive neighborhoods. But if sellers overprice, those homes are sitting. We're seeing more price reductions now than we were seeing a year or two ago. And I think that's one of the biggest shifts happening in this market right now, is that buyers are still active, but they're analyzing value much harder than before. During the pandemic boom, buyers were waiving almost everything and throwing money at properties no matter what. But today, buyers are comparing comps more carefully. They're questioning conditioning more and negotiating harder if they feel something is overpriced. Now, also about mortgage rates, because obviously that affects everything. The 30-year fixed mortgage rates are currently hovering around 6.2% to about 6.4%. So that's still pretty high compared to the ultra low pandemic years, but lower than rates were in 2025. And I think buyers are starting to psychologically adapt to the higher for longer rate environment. A lot of people were sitting around waiting for those rates to magically drop back down to the 4% range. I think many people are starting to realize that that's not going to happen anytime soon. So instead of waiting forever, they're slowly starting to re-enter the market. And one trend that I'm noticing myself personally is the split between turnkey homes and fixer-uppers. Turnkey homes are still commanding huge attention, but homes needing major update, buyers are much more hesitant because renovation costs are expensive, and entry-level buyers especially are getting squeezed very hard. So that's probably one of the biggest affordability challenges that we're seeing across Long Island at the moment. Overall, here's my outlook heading into the summer market. I think Long Island remains a seller-leaning market overall, because I think inventory is just still too low, but sellers, they just can't get lazy anymore. Presentation matters, pricing matters, marketing matters. The homes winning right now are the ones positioned correctly from day one. And for buyers, while still competitive, there are still definitely more opportunities to negotiate compared to the insanity that we saw a few years ago. So anyway, guys, that's your April 2026 Long Island market report. If you want me to start doing hyperlocal reports for specific towns or neighborhoods on Long Island, definitely let me know in the comments. And if you're thinking about buying, selling, or just curious about what your home might be realistically worth in today's market, feel free to reach out anytime, and I'll see you all.